Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Acacia Courtney. And there you see our beauty shot of the afternoon is showing you both the turf and the main track fast, turf course firm. Another Chamber of Commerce day here in South Florida. Just a beautiful day. Low 80s expected or high 70s this afternoon. So great day for racing. And Acacia, it just looks like it'll be one of those special days.
Yes, indeed, Ron. And we are very lucky to be here in Florida. We hope we are sending you warmth if you are in a part of the country where you're expecting snow or a part of the world even. So stay warm out there. Come on down to Florida. Join us here. It's a lot nicer out, but we're very lucky. We're looking forward to a great day of racing and, of course, a great weekend coming up.
Yeah, things are going to get even hotter because it's Beat the Expert Day, and I'm feeling good this afternoon. I'm taking on all challenges this afternoon. Try and beat me this afternoon, which is usually not that hard to do. And, of course, if you're not aware, you can play along with us on the GulfstreamPark.com. Just click on the page that tells you Beat the Expert, and you play along. It's absolutely free.
That's right. And if you pick more winners than Ronnie, you can win one of the Beat the Expert polos plus the bragging rights. You beat everybody the last time you were up. You've been on a roll lately, so let's keep it going.
See if we can do it today, but I said accept all challenges. Also today, a little later on, the Stronach 5.
Yeah, how about that? Back in action. We have got everything for you today. 12% takeout. Race number 7 from us here at Gulfstream is part of the sequence. 2 races from Laurel Park, and then we head out to California to wrap it up. That $1 minimum, as always, and as Pete says, Overlay City.
Overlay City, just that real only 12% takeout. So we've taken care of all the stuff we wanted to tell you before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's card. 2 pick 5s this afternoon, as we mentioned, fast main track. Acacia, yesterday, hit the late pick 5, $48. The ticket came back $1,500. I know who's buying me dinner tonight.
Yeah, I'm up tonight. I am very, very happy about that. It was a great day for sure. Got the long shot home. We got bet down. I was thinking that was going to take my price away with turn and burn, but it was a lot of fun. It was a little bit more pricier ticket than I usually play, but hey, I think that was a good day at the office.
Well, let's keep it going. Show that early pick 5
Yeah,
ticket.
we'll try to keep the momentum going. Now the pressure is on, right, to do it again. So, but don't worry, I'll be putting it all back in on Saturday for that mandatory payout with the Rainbow 6. But as far as the early pick 5 does go, $24 play here. I've got Kathleen O'Connell's Henny Penny, who turns back in distance. I think better sprinting, as well as the current favorite, Miss Headley. We've got 2 horses in race number 2. You have a Mike Yates Cajun Breeze, first-time starter. You know I'm going there. I would love me some Cajun. Also include Blakenstein in that race. In race number 3, I've got 2 horses as well. Preferred the drop-down runners. In race number 4, I spread a little bit more in there. Zamfir has taken a lot of money. He's been a little bit of a money burner recently. Let's see if he can get the job done. I have some interest in Spear Gun trying the turf. And then we wrap up the sequence in race number 5. We have Shug McGahee, Sam Baser off the layoff here, dropping in class, and Cowtown, who's been going those marathon distances.
Yeah, from Todd Pletcher, as you mentioned, I read, will be in the saddle there. Let's get into this first race. And, you know, I started it off in here, Keisha, with I just thought a horse that's going to be the other Kathleen, put it that way. And that is the 3, Odramark, who's now in Kathleen's barn. The man makes her first start. She drew clear. She defeated 16 condition claimers. It was going 5.5 furlongs up at Monmouth on the turf for Jose Ortiz, is going to be in the saddle today. Just was enamored with that performance last time out. Put this one on top.
Yeah, that was a big performance with the addition of blinkers once again. And Kathleen O'Connell's been having a very strong championship meet. I landed on the other Kathleen in the 8 Henny Penny, who moved to her barn after sprinting against Huffer up in New York with Dave Donk. And 40,000 for those kinds of races, that's pretty much the lowest you can go. So she got a chance to drop down to the 20,000 in here today, or 2 starts back, I should say. Got the win, and I think is a better sprinter after that distance try last time out.
Well, I had some interest in the number 6, Proper Manners, who's making the 3rd start of our current form cycle after back-to-back narrow defeats. So let's go back and show you this horse's last race. I'm going to pick it up at the top of the stretch of the wire. The number 3 this afternoon, Proper Manners, just, you know, as usual, just trying to carve out that trip, turning for home, looking for racing room. You're going to see this horse tip out, and they said, well, this is it. I had picked this horse. I got it made today, and she's coming through the stretch, but it would not be the case. It's the second time in a row you're going to watch this horse on the outside, the number 5, just get up at the shadow of the wire and nip her at the wire. So I just thought of the performance, I'd go back. One of these days, she's going to last.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I was probably too hard on her. Seemed to me like she hung a little bit that day, but almost kind of like waiting on horses. But before that, she had been knocking heads. She'd been right there and pretty consistent when sprinting on the turf overall. Corey Lannery picked up another win yesterday, too. The 9, Miss Headley, comes out of that same race. She's one that had switched to the turf last time out, was a big price with the addition of blinkers, and ran a fine race. But this is a speed play with Emiseo Jaramillo aboard.
Yeah, she was third behind Proper Manners, as you mentioned. Second race this afternoon, 6 furlongs. A maiden claim is 4 and up, $12,500. You can't fool us with those Cajun breezes.
Yeah, we're on to them now. We've been fooled enough, I think. Mike Yates, a first-time starter, sprinting on the dirt by Cajun Breeze. Just kind of says a little, like, blinking light around it that says, pick me. And Tyler Gaffleone aboard, too. That's also a positive. So love me some Cajun, which I'm sure Mike Yates does with the success he's had with the offspring of Cajun Breeze. This one had one sibling that won a couple times in Mexico. The other one was a 4-time dirt sprint winner.
Yeah, just starting its career as 4-year-old, so that's the only difference there. I went with the 6 Chamberlain in second, who's an obvious choice, I thought, to be on the ticket after responded to the drop-down with that second-place finish at this same level and distance. Angel Arroyo is going to ride for Marcial Navarro. And you also used the number 3 in here, Blankenstein.
Yeah, this one tried the turf last time, and that was a no-go. Brand, I know it was a distant second, but you see beaten, or third, I should say, in that debut. You see beaten 13 lengths. The winner of that race won by 12.5, so it was actually pretty close for second and third behind a very impressive first-out winner.
Well, we're going to go to race number 3 now. It's a 7-furlong sprint. These are maiden claimers, state-bred fillies, 3-year-olds. They run for $35,000, compact field of 6. And we'll start it off with your top pick in here, and that is the number 4 horse in here, We Bless Luck.
Yeah, I took a little bit of a shot with this one, who ran okay last time, ran third, and was kind of just, the short comment says best rest, and I think that's pretty much what happened. But it was a major improvement first start to second start. I think obviously sprinting on dirt is what she wants. She's a filly by Union Rags, who gets a little bit more ground today, going the 7 furlongs, and Irad Ortiz taking the call. Unfortunately, given the presence of Irad Ortiz, I don't think she'll offer much value, but I just didn't really trust some of the others in here. The drop-down runner, Skyfly, I think is probably the most logical one on paper.
Yeah, drop it to the 35 level and stretching out to this distance of 7 furlongs again after hitting the board 2 of 3 sprints. I thought against, state-bred special weight runners, so I thought the drop would help for Jorge Delgado. Paco Lopez named on his daughter of Jess's dream. Maureen loves Frank, so Maureen, Frank, congratulations, I can say.
Yeah, hey, it's almost Valentine's Day, so maybe Maureen loves Frank. Nice little hunch bet. Love is in the air.
Yeah, but it should have been this one, of course, now in the Brad Cox barn. The barn is 33% with similar class drops. Louis Saez in the saddle. This was on Sunday. We'd be all over that one, that's right. For sure. Fourth race this afternoon, back on the turf. 5 furlongs on the turf. Claimers, 3-year-olds. 35 down to $25,000. Did have a scratch today of the number 3 horse in this particular race. And you started it off with the spear gun.
I did. I think you and I have a similar feeling on the 6 Zamfir in that he makes sense, but he's always going to take money, and he just really hasn't delivered that race that you would have liked to see at the short prices that he's been. So it's an interesting move for Speargun, whose last 3 races have been very strong when sprinting on dirt. But the only turf try was going a mile, and I think, and I've always felt this, that this horse is a sprinter by Kozan, who his offspring run on everything, and I'm going to take a little bit of a shot with this one, who's in good form right now, and let's see if he can transfer that to the turf.
Well, the number 7 horse who I have on top of my ticket, Exchange Day, this one is hoping to bounce back. Had a nice 2-race win streak going, but this one needs the lead. So I want to go back and show you this horse's start last time. That's all I'm going to show you. Breaks slowly, and he gives Nitro Time, who's like the big, fast horse, just a insurmountable lead. And that was it. The day was over right there. Just that horse needs the lead to run the best. And Nitro Time, I think, was 8-5 that day and just drew off and won it. So I just wanted to show, I think that's one cost that horse to race. Eddie Pleaser, Luis Saez handling the Sun. If it's my lucky day, so I thought with a clean break, this one would be the speed of the speed.
No, I agree with you. I think that he should be the speed of the speed. And the reason that he was off a bit slow and then kind of had to rush up there, and there was no catching Nitro Time after that. And Nitro Time then went on to win again for his third victory in a row. But I think that this horse, Exchange Day, even see it in the short comment fractions, he was really keyed up before the race. Luis Saez now has ridden him a couple of times, can keep him a little bit more settled here in order to try to get a clean break.
Yeah, and Zamfir, just you got to use him on your ticket, but you can't totally trust him. He was that stalking to pace fourth against 50 starter optional claimers last time out.
And he was actually the favorite over Kasim, who ran very well for trainer Mike Maker. So he always takes money. He's one I think you have to use. He may just jump up and win, but he is tough to trust at a short price.
Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll have today's Rainbow Six, or my Rainbow Six ticket.
And they're off. Second in the two path. Ground ball first inside. Race. And a quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. It's last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron and Acacia, and $1.5 million is the jackpot guaranteed today in the Rainbow Six. It's just amazing to me. It seemed like a week ago we started anew, and it's already up to $1.5 million. And as Acacia mentioned at the top, on Saturday, mandatory payout. But you got a chance to take it down today, and that's what I'm going to do. And there's one thing about me. I'm consistent. $43.20. It'll be up there. And I went 3 deep in here with Sam Baser coming off a long layoff. Cowtown looks like the one to beat, and reliability for Mary Epler. Got some coverage in the second leg with Secret Potion. Really nice sixth race this afternoon. Summer serving a ton of trouble. Lots of scratches in the 7th, but still a really nice field. And I have the 12. What makes Sammy run? And in the last race, I'm trying to get a little bit of a price with the number 4 horse in there, who was 10-1 on the morning line, who I think has a chance, and that's Will Take Control for it with Edgar Zeiss. Just a speed play for me in there. So 43.20 for me.
I like it, and I like that horse in the nightcap as well. 43.20 for 1.5 million guaranteed. It'll be way over that pool tomorrow when we have the Rainbow Six mandatory payout.
That is for sure. So I'm interested to see how you started this 7th race today. Fifth race today with the 7, I think.
I think I started it almost exactly the same as you did, with Sam Baser off of that big layoff, as you had mentioned. This one we haven't seen since back in February. He did win first time out on the turf for Shug McGahee. He was an off-the-turf race. After that, he is coming back off a lengthy layoff. Nearly 2 years, in fact, and almost to the day. Tomorrow will be 2 years to the day for Sam Baser. But Shug McGahee is so good with these kinds of layoffs. You think of so many horses that he's just had to be so patient with. Breaking the Rules comes to mind, who we saw running the Pegasus World Cup. A year layoff to the day, comes back and wins, and then goes on this great campaign. So I know it's a drop in class, but they brought him back for a reason.
Yeah, he would not. You can took the words out of my mouth. I'm going to say, if Shug's bringing him back, I'm paying serious attention. Jose Ortiz handling a really interesting proposition. But 9 Cowtown drops, turns back to the mile, faced tougher at distances from 11 to 16 furlongs for Todd Arad in the saddle today, atop this son of Tonalist.
And it's interesting because he did seem to be flourishing going those longer distances. We had a 1.5 mile allowance race yesterday, and I know Todd already had 2 runners in there, but you felt like that kind of maybe would have been the type of race that we would have seen Cowtown in. So I do find find it interesting he comes back to the mile. I think it's the drop in class more than anything, though. That race yesterday would have been too tough for him. I know he ran third in the HL and Jerkins, but for me, that was kind of a throwout race, just as far as the quality. I didn't really want horses coming out of there, and I think that was backed up by Cowtown's performance last time. However, on the drop, I think you must pay attention to him.
Yeah, and I used reliability in third. You had it in fourth. Is cutting back to the mile after finishing second. That was going 8.5 furlongs. Last out in third, going 9 furlongs. 2 starts back for Mary Epler. Maybe the mile is the day today for this horse.
Yeah, absolutely. Mary Epler, the winner yesterday as well. And I included Diligent, who was beaten just ahead last time out behind a nice horse in King Autocar.
Well, race number 6 this afternoon, 6 1/2 furlongs, maiden special weight. 3-year-olds scratched the 1 horse in here. And let me get my pencil ready because in case you hit it big time yesterday, I'm copying down her selection.
Yeah, let's see if we can do it once again. I'm going to try, that's for sure. Main track here to start things off with this maiden special weight. I've got the 2 Chad Brown runners and the number 4 Ben Copenhagen. In race number 7, this is a nice race, even with the scratches. It was bit by the scratch bug. I like Easy Time trying the turf and also included What Makes Sammy Run. In race number 8, I have the 2 Dizzy and the number 6 R Fantasy, who's coming off a nice win last time out for Kathleen O'Connell. 9th race, 3 deep in there. That's the feature. I did not include Sun Summers. I know that she had a big trip last time. We'll talk about that race in a little bit. To me, there were others just class-wise who may just be a notch above where she is, but major trip play from that last race. 2 deep in race number 10. I've always liked Will Take Control. I think that he will be a little bit lower than that running line, but I included him and Flamingo Hawk.
Yeah, I'm glad you used Will, the 4-horse, in that particular race. That, as I mentioned, trying to get a little price for me this afternoon. But I started this 6th race off in here with the number 3 Secret Potion, who's debuting locally for Chad Brown and trying the dirt for the first time.
Yeah, I had some questions because this is an interesting move because the 3 races so far have all been on turf, and he did run well in that debut on turf up at Saratoga, and then it seems the wheels kind of fell off, though he did try Grade 1 company after that. But I found this stat for the barn, which I thought very interesting, Ron. This is Chad Brown over the past 5 years, turf to dirt, after this kind of layoff of 61 to 180 days, and maiden special weight runners. And it's only 1 for 12, but 8 out of those 12 have finished in the money. It is a negative ROI, of course, of just 26 cents. So I thought this was very interesting, and he's regressed in each subsequent start. So those are kind of my questions with this one. Obviously, you have a world of respect for the barn and the connections, but I landed on the other Chad in here, the 6 Value Creation, who's by Uncle Mo, and on the bottom side, out of a mare who's sister to Grade 1 winners, Lear's Princess and Pretty City Dancer.
Yeah, I just flip-flopped and Secret Potion after that stat. We have these great formulator stats each and every day. Thank you to Formulator. That's got to be the record with the 26%.
Yeah.
26 cents ROI right there. I don't think we had one that low. So it's good to see those stats and make sure, helps your handicapping out. What about the number 2 horse in here, Summer Sermon, who's stretching out to the 6.5 furlongs after tracking the pace, fading, finished 8th that day behind the Grade 3, next out Grade 3 winner who won the Sam Davis, Candyman Rocket, going 3/4 of a mile from Mike Yates. 20% with maidens making their second start. Was sort of flattered by that Candyman Rocket winning across town.
Oh, absolutely. Candyman Rocket ran a huge race for Bill Mott in the Sam F. Davis. We also saw G-Bar, the runner-up, run a game second on a wet track this past weekend, too. So I think it's a very live race that he comes out of. I had some interest in now it's just the only one left for Juan Avila. It's the other one scratching. But Ben Copenhagen has a good dirt sprint pedigree. And Upstart maybe has fizzled out a little bit, but we saw some really precocious runners from him this summer at Saratoga. I've been impressed with what I've seen from the stallion so far.
Love the name, Ben Copenhagen.
Yeah, it's great.
It seems like he's probably from Copenhagen, I would think. I don't know. It was 7th race, 1 mile on the turf, allowance optional claim at 3-year-olds, and the optional claiming price is $75,000. Yeah, we did get hit by the scratch bug, but we certainly have a good field. We're going to scratch the 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 13. But the horses that are left, the 7 horses that are left, it's a pretty nice field.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I think George Weaver was probably happy about the scratches because What Makes Sammy Run doesn't have to run from post 12 now.
Well, let's go show you his last race while we're talking about him. We're going to pick it up from the top of the stretch to the wire. Where he's boxed in, you'll see him here. He is the number for that day, and he's just boxed in, looking for that room. Just a really nice trip, and you'll see he just got to get somewhere to go. He's going to tip out right now, and find that seam and come running late. And I just thought it was a good performance from this horse. And I don't know how much that affected him not winning, but he certainly tried to close the gap later on. Just maybe it was helped hurt a little bit that he had to sit behind horses there. He's going to break from post 7 today, so the post 12 thing, throw that right out the window.
No, absolutely. He also ran second behind Tarantino, who switched to dirt in the subsequent start and ran a huge second after setting the pace in the Grade 3 Holy Bowl behind Greatest Honor. So that was definitely flattered, even though it was on a different surface. He's the one to beat, and I almost put him on top. I was trying to get a long shot price with Easy Time. I think after the scratches, unfortunately, he's not going to be much of a price, but this was my price play of the day. Colt by Not This Time, who is by Giants Causeway. And on the bottom side, there's plenty of turf influence. 5 siblings won on grass, including multiple stakes winner Softly Lit. Did find some good numbers for Mark Cassie. He will show a positive stat now. This is over the past 5 years. First time on the turf at Gulfstream. Really, really good numbers for this barn, just narrowing it down to this track. 21% win and a $3.65 ROI. Also had a nice work recently over the turf course at Palmettos.
Yeah, just had some interest, a little bit of interest in a long shot in here in the number 8, Fuego Caliente, who's a half-brother to $1.5 million earner, La Verdad, and also another stake winner called Hot City Girl. Gets a class check stepping up. Throw it on your super. I just thought maybe this horse would have a little bit of a shot to grab something in there. Won on the turf last time out, albeit against cheaper.
Yeah, this is definitely a deeper field, but it's not such a big field as we were initially expecting. I think the wild card is the 4 Hyper Focus, who won one of the softer early 2-year-old races that we saw back in May. I looked back at my notes, and that was one that I hadn't really wanted moving forward. And he ran a disappointing effort in the Bashford Manor, but he was a very early 2-year-old. Now is trying the turf off the layoff for Todd Fletcher.
Yeah, he's a gelded son of Constitution, so I have him actually higher up on my ticket than you do. But it's hard. I had to put him somewhere in there, especially when you do it. So that is race 7. We'll go to race number 8 this afternoon. 1 mile allowance optional claimer. These are state-bred fillies, mares 4 and up. They could run for the optional tag of $12,500. 6 in the field in here, and we both went with the number 6, Our Fantasy.
Yeah, hard not to like this effort last time out. 1 by 5, and I think that the reason this one wasn't favored is there had been kind of some questions about her really being a true dirt horse. Her 2 other victories in her career were both on the main track, but they were both off the turf races, and it's hard to gauge how those really stack up to a dirt meant race when you're running just against a different caliber of horses. However, she blew the field away and 1 by 5 lengths. Tyler Gaffalione going to be in the saddle.
Yeah, for Kathleen O'Connell. And the other horse that I know we both used these 2 horses on our Rainbow 6 and late pick 5 tickets at 2. Dizzy is hoping to find just a little more firepower for the stretch run after rallying to finish second in consecutive races at this level and distance. Juan Alvarado is going to jump up and get Arad Ortiz Jr. in the saddle today.
Yeah, and this one is a big player. However, she just has not been able to kind of take that step forward. And with Arad Ortiz, she will be a shorter price than she has recently. She's a player. Let's see if she can move forward and maybe kind of lose that bridesmaid status.
Race number 9 this afternoon, as you mentioned, a feature event of the afternoon. 1 mile on the turf, allowance optional claimers. Fillies and mares 4 and up. They could run for that optional claiming price of $62,500. We're going to scrap. So far, we got 15, 16. I'm sure maybe the 13 and 14 are out already. I didn't get the late scratches yet, but certainly a really nice full field for the feature event.
Yeah, it is. And I think it all kind of revolves around what do we get from the 5 Miss Tehran for Chad Brown. To me, and I didn't love her. She hasn't really lit the world on fire yet since coming to the U.S., but it's a class play. She's coming out of much tougher fields in her last couple of races. Beating a length and a half in Grade 3 company in the Bobby Frankel last time out at Santa Anita behind Mucho Unusual, who came back to win again. big effort in the Forever Together. Again, just a class play. She has a good turn of foot. Irad Ortiz going to be aboard this mare who has been training here at Palmettos.
Yeah, I'm on top of the ticket, but I have the 8 Sun Summers, a little higher ranked than you do in this race. We're going to go back and show you her last performance. We're going to pick it up top of the stretch to the wire. She is the number 4 Sun Summers, and just watch the stretch run here. She's blocked almost the whole way, and you know, just know where to run. She's going to try, so you'll watch her here, just trying to get that spot to run, and it's just not there. She's got to, you know, just wait to see if she can get it done, and now she's going to try and close between horses at the end, and it's just, you know, she sees that seam, starts to close, so she just didn't have a clean trip in there. I highly rated her. You know, that was in the Sunshine Filly and Mare Turf. Mike Maker, Joe Bravo named the ride. Irad's going to go to Miss Tehran, but I just thought Sun Summers with a clean trip might run well.
Yeah, she's definitely kind of the buzz trip horse of the field, and I agree. I mean, she had nowhere to run last time out. Irad Ortiz didn't panic. He did everything right and waiting for room to take her outside and try to close in there. My biggest concern with her, again, she was claimed for 40,000 off of a win, and then she was beaten for 35 behind Bean Counter. I just think when you have a horse like Miss Tehran who's coming out of Grade 3 company, there's a couple that maybe have a little bit of an edge as far as class, but she's definitely the one that's in good form right now. And maybe I'm too hard on her, but this was my thought process, and I'm sticking to it in here.
Well, what about Choate Bridge, who we both have a highly rated in here, who's coming back to the mile distance today?
Yeah, she ran a good race last time behind Bacchanalia, trained by Chad Brown, who had really kind of finally put everything together. She's a mare that I think has really kind of started to find her groove now for Brendan Walsh.
Yeah, daughter of Street Sense. We wrap up the 10 races on Friday with mile maiden claimer on the main track for 3-year-olds, 35,000 down to 30,000. And we'll take control. As we mentioned, 10-1 on the line. We don't think we're going to get it. Drops to the 35 level, set the pace weekend against 50 maidens. Just a speed play for me with Edgar Zayas. You know, this is aptly named son of Will Take Charge. You should do that. Or right going on the pace or be with the pace. And as soon as they open up the gate latch.
No, I very much agree. And anybody that's watched kind of my pre-race paddock report knows I like this horse. I've liked him both times that he's run. Slow start in the debut, and then last time out, Million was much the horse to be in that race for Todd Pletcher. I think he'll be a little bit shorter in here today, taking an additional drop in class. Same thing with the 5 Flamingo Hawk, who I did land on coming out of that same race. Broke out from the inside post last time out, which you can sometimes see happen. I just think this is a good spot third time for Saffie Joseph Jr.
Well, that is how we see that 10-race card, but we are not done. We still got our very interesting lightning round starting right now.
Yeah, it feels like almost every day we have somebody with a multi-win day, and this time it's 2 jockeys. Yesterday, both Luis Saez and Tyler Gaffalione, 3-win days here at Gulfstream.
Yeah, it is. You're absolutely right. It's amazing how they, you know, every day someone steps up. Of course, Irad had them beat so far with 6 wins in one day, but Luis Saez is certainly not going to let Irad run away from it. And Tyler, just a great rider.
Yeah, absolutely. Luis Saez in second, a distant second now in the standings, but he says, I'm not giving up just yet. A good day for both of them yesterday as our Pegasus World Cup winner, Nix Go, arrived in Saudi Arabia, getting ready for the February 20th Saudi Cup.
Yeah, so there you see, arriving right there. Nix Go has really turned his fortunes around. How impressive was he in the Pegasus? He was just so impressive in the race. Everybody was standing there, everybody around me saying this horse is going to stop.
Yeah.
Did not stop, so he's arrived safely, and that's good news.
Yeah, we'll be, of course, rooting for him. Our Pegasus World Cup winner arrived in Saudi Arabia for trainer Brad Coxwell Rosario to go over there to ride as well. As we have a Breeders' Cup winner, Nix Go, a Pegasus World Cup winner as well. We have a former Breeders' Cup winner, Instructor, the 2019 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf winner, hasn't run since. He's back on Saturday.
He's back on Saturday for Chad Brown, and he's just so interesting. He's undefeated, and he, you know, right here you just see him close beautifully to win the, as you mentioned, the Breeders' Cup. But it's been a long time. You know, you can't leave him off your ticket, but you don't know exactly what you're going to get.
3 for 3 so far, but hasn't run since that 2-year-old performance that day. So looking forward to seeing him in race 10 on Saturday. Speaking of Saturday, at our sister track, Laurel Park, they have a big day coming up. 2 graded stakes on tap.
Yeah, they got the Barbara Fritchie, a grade 3 event, 7 for both of those races, 7 furlongs. The other one being the General George. Hello, beautiful. Brittany Russell, what a year she's had. She's got the favorite in the Barbara Fritchie, and funny guy, 9 to 5 in the General George. So we'll see how those races play out. We were checking the weather out. It's 50% chance of snow, but I'm going to go with the good side of that, and I think they're going to have a great day.
I love it. Certainly we'll be tuning in for Laurel. I love Funny Guy. He's one of my favorite horses around. He really is a cool horse, but I got to see him up in New York. The last time I went for Barbara Fritchie and General George Day, it snowed. So I'm happy to be here in Florida, though we will be tuning in. Best of luck to our friends at Laurel Park tomorrow. Speaking of Laurel, they have 2 races in today's Stronach 5 sequence.
Yeah, 2 races in the Stronach 5. We have one, just race number 7 here of ours, but it starts at 4 and ends at 4:53. And as Pete always says, Overlay City just paid, I think, $47,000 last week or something like that.
It was a big one last week. So make sure you get ready for that, the Stronach 5. And finally, for our cuteness of the day, the Woodward winner, Preservationist at Airdrie Stud, of course, owned by Centennial Farm, welcomes his first foal. How awesome is this?
Oh, look at that, Blaze. We've been watching
This,
the Blaze.
I think, is the winning Blaze.
This is the winning Blaze, without a doubt. How cute is that? Boy, these horses are fantastic. To see them as babies.
Absolutely. Love getting a chance to see that, looking ahead to the future, so to speak, too. It's that time of year we've been enjoying something to put a smile on our face for the cute foal of the day. With that, we send it up for the last order of business on here, and that's the one and only Pete Aiello standing by with Scratches and Changes.